Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of Spinning Plates. First up is Anonymous. I've been in the industry for over a decade. Bartended at Michelin-starred restaurants, world's best bars, dive bars, and everything in between. I love this industry. I love bartending. I wrote this for introspection and personal purpose. The service industry sucks. The menu is inconsequential. The mistakes are irrelevant. The expectations are on a ridiculous bloody spectrum. I say it sucks, and that's half a lie. I choose to love this industry. I choose to make this my career. I choose to love bartending. I love this industry. I love the interactions. I love the people. But let's also remember, I hate myself. I work, hopefully, 60+ hours a week. I parasite happiness from my guest experience, and I develop confidence from the meek compliments of the masses. I loathe that stupid crap people say. I loathe the pervasive harassment. I loathe the entitlement that's easily found on both sides of the table. I loathe the apathy of some of those that find this to be temporary. Then, to top it off, somehow hating myself becomes hating them because they aren't even trying to surpass the low bar I've set. This industry is the perfect mix of active movement, interpersonal skills, and diligent, efficient methodology. Strangers will ask me how I stay so thin. Try walking 10 miles in 4 hours within 3,000 square feet. Remember, this isn't constant movement, it's stop-and-go traffic. Now think about doing all of that while carrying between 1 pound and 50 pounds at various intervals for a range of steps. Suddenly working sounds like exercising. As an example, how heavy is water? Really heavy. A gallon of water is about 8 pounds. A 5-gallon ice bucket, then, is probably close to 35 pounds. Taking into account air pockets and for ease of understanding. So, where are the ice machines usually located? The basement or ground level in the dish pit or kitchen. How big is a bar ice well? 2 buckets at least, probably closer to 4. How many wells are there? 3, so 6 buckets at least have to make it there. But the bar is on the 2nd floor, 2 flights of stairs with 35-pound weights in each hand. Or, if it's possible, 2 ice buckets per hand and 70 pounds. Or how many taps does your local watering hole have? 15, maybe? Imagine with me the size of the beer cooler. Let's say 50 feet long, 8 feet high, 3 feet wide. Along one wall is all of the tap connections with a single shelf rack running under it. Well, a full keg weighs 161 pounds. Each beer has a backup, and sometimes an extra. Put that full keg 4 feet in the air and put it on the top shelf. Then do it 10 more times. It's definitely both. Carrying heavy dishes is a great forearm workout. These little instances add up. It doesn't hurt that I have a wild metabolism, but you catch my drift. I used to be extremely shy, had zero self-confidence, and could barely hold a conversation outside of my close friend group. To be honest, I've probably only made about 10% median improvement across these categories, but progress is progress. I'll take it. Working in general built the foundation for this improvement, probably why I'm a workaholic, but the service industry is definitely the biggest contributor. Retail shaped and focused my work ethic and ignited my relationship skills. Having to sell a product that requires a personal touch takes effort for me. I had to learn about the best applications and combinations across the current product selection. This, however, built confidence in my ability. I hit a wall there, though. I find myself increasingly opting to work overnights and early mornings with the stock and visual teams to avoid much client interaction. This helped develop my efficiency and organization skill, though, which have proved indispensable across my life. The removal from interaction is not possible in the front-of-house service industry. Bus a table, run food, drop a drink, and you need to be available to answer questions and offer assistance. At some places, it's acceptable to offer to grab their server, but it's embarrassing not to know or be trusted, so I went through the same preparation that I did with retail. What are the products we're offering? What are the differences? Who would like this? While in this business, that's barely 30% of the equation. The details of each dish become personal and malleable. Having an allergy means knowing what can be removed and what's integral to the dish. Now there's a knowledge of allergy categories. Pink peppercorn. Yeah, that's a cashew allergy. Bet your bitch butt didn't know that. Plus, there's a new question of allergy severity. Celiac? Oh. Can't have some vodka because it's wheat. Fryer contamination? Oh, that's fine. Can we science for a minute? Well, we're gonna anyway. Any distilled spirit is gluten-free, as long as nothing with gluten has been added at the end of the process. It's true. Go to the celiac website. You can have bourbon, scotch, most vodka, and most gin. Don't get me started on tequila. Hint, you fine, bitch. Oddly enough, Bacardi rum is not gluten-free. Don't know why. Now, there's the various diet plans. Keto, have salad. Maybe 30-day, you tell me. Which plan? How strict? Restrictive quadrant 7? Did I make this up? It's not entirely impossible. Now think about religions. Is it rude to ask how Jewish someone is? No dairy and meat together, or no pork and shellfish? Where on the spectrum? We're Catholic. Is it Lent? Yes. What day is it? And does it matter? Oh, but there's more. That doesn't even cover the full scope of food, but I should digress. Maybe we'll go back, but that's a surprise. Now think about every possible conversational topic people can have. Sports, politics, books, Netflix, relationships, travel. Jason Statham's head. Go on then. Well, that's an experience without connection and conversation. In this industry, staff takes on an array of roles. Ghost, you don't want me here, so I serve you as invisibly as possible. Therapist, I am here to serve you and listen to your problems. Advice optional. Moderator, I am the neutral vote on whatever inane argument being had. Hype man, whatever you just said about this bottle of wine isn't wrong. Conversationalist, that last book you read, TV show you watched, or sporting event you witnessed, I relate to and care about. Stress reliever, venting about work or projecting emotion onto me. Sure. Somehow taking care of people, dealing with their issues, giving them an experience, and running around with an ever-evolving list of to-dos builds my spirit. I walk into my shift vastly hungover, wishing to die, and leave at night energized, still wishing to die, but at a drastically reduced expediency. Some things to always avoid telling any service staff member. I'll tip you really well. Don't even mention the tip. Our transaction has not reached that point. Experience has actually told me the exact opposite. If I prioritize my tables by how much I think you'll tip, I don't, and honestly that's just crappy, you have now moved to the bottom, permanently. I'm allergic to bad food. No, you're not. That's entitlement and judgment speaking. Anything close to this is unallowed. We've heard it multiple times. I used to be in the industry. Keywords, used to be. I don't care what buzzing in college taught you about me, you're still not getting free stuff. I've watched The Bear. Okay, I've watched The Pit, and I doubt I could put in an IV. Yes, restaurants can be that way, but regardless, the patron has no clue what we do overall, or especially at this specific place. Why does this show give the general public the gall to tell workers what to do as if they know anything? Read the menu. I've never understood the excitement from a menu description. Crap, seriously? I literally listed the ingredients, delicious, beautiful, special, exciting, etc. Who knows what people say to sell? All of these meaningless adjectives are removed from spiels. I don't have time to comment on the beauty of this specific arugula. It's a salad of arugula, black truffle, vinaigrette, and hazelnuts. Yeah, there's other stuff. None are a common allergy or make a prominent difference in the dish. Plus, I asked you about any dietary restrictions or allergies. Stop hiding stuff. It might be in there. A caponata can have 30+ bloody ingredients. If you're intolerant of anything, you can't have it. Too bad. Enjoy the good items on the menu. You don't tell me because you believe you know what's what. Fine, die. I'll hide your EpiPen and walk away. You want me saying the 30 ingredients in the sauce of this dish? No, you don't, and if you do, bummer. I technically can, but I don't have the time, and 3 ingredients in, you won't care. A few times someone has literally yelled at me. Honestly, my humor and general demeanor is dry as hell and understated. If I don't come off as awkward, I come off as mean. I get it, though. I'm an a-hole. Here's the kicker. I guess can yell and scream, but I just don't care. I've never killed someone or caused bodily harm through my service. That little rant is just so insignificant to me. Mistake or otherwise, I'll happily fix a perceived problem, but tantrums just don't work with me. Calm down. I'll replace the dish and comp a drink. I've been told off and spoken to, rudely or demeaningly, but a quick scream of anger in the walk-in, and back to the floor. Train to kill anger with kindness. Apologize for there being an issue without assuming blame. This is key. And ask how to fix the situation. Keep putting the ball in their court. If this is basketball, the home team is already down 60 points with 30 seconds remaining. They can have the ball. They can have what is perceived of as control. I'm angry because of this. Great. What could we do to make this a better situation for you? The answer is irrelevant, and usually there is no answer. Usually it's either a confused state or a grandiose expectation. I want everything comped. Give a moose a cookie. No, I'll take this off and that, or F off. Negotiations have begun. Hint, restaurants shouldn't negotiate. When you're wrong. Take that feeling of accomplishment and leave. Rating systems are garbage, at least in the USA. Yelp? Bloody Yelp, what an idiotic platform. I understand the value from a traveler's perspective, but giving the power of reputation to the masses without any actual verification is beyond ludicrous. 1 star, drove by and the light was out, seems trashy. 1 star, thought about eating there and saw the reviews. Michelin, cool idea. Seems to have integrity in foreign countries where a street stall can get a star. USA, though, such a joke. Buy a star or two, only expensive starred menus, definitely not a realistic travel guide any longer. There's problems in the industry, but overall, I've enjoyed my stint. It's ongoing, and I wish anyone disrespected or maligned luck with finding a place of value. It's a goddamn roller coaster with incredible people. And second story today is, did I do something wrong by ruining a surprise birthday party by the Flying Piggies? No, you didn't. Okay, story number 3. Oh, alright, we'll read it. This took place a number of months ago, but it just came to mind, and I'd like to know other people's perspectives. So a woman is throwing a surprise birthday dinner for her husband. He is under the impression that it'll just be the two of them, but in actuality, as a host, all I knew about this plan was the little note the wife made on the reservation saying, "Surprising my husband with his best buddies from out of town for his birthday." No further specific instructions. I didn't know if the surprise would be taking place prior to them arriving at the restaurant, or at the restaurant, or how they wanted to go about surprising him. Nothing. Yeah, I'm already ready to call this in your favor. She didn't give clarity or how you were meant to be involved, if at all, in the situation. Usually, with big parties, I like to set down the menus prior to them arriving because it's a hassle to stand there and wait for them to do the whole, "Where'd you want to sit? Are you sure? Well, I think maybe Rob should sit next to Carol." Who would want to sit next to Carol? Or should he be across from her? Wait, no. Let's switch, so Stacy and Jim can be together. Well, everyone in the party is arriving at vastly different times, and it's awkward to reach over people at a table that long to drop their menus, blah blah blah. For context, it's policy at my restaurant that the hostess must stand there and wait until everyone is seated before setting down their menus. Hence why I couldn't just drop the menus and walk away to let them figure it out. So that's exactly what I did. I set out all the menus beforehand so that as people trickled in, they could pick their seat and figure it out for themselves. Important context about the menus: if a guest leaves a reservation note telling us they're celebrating something, we will customize the menus. So all the menus I put down said "Happy Birthday, Todd" at the top. I don't remember his actual name. Anyways, all of the birthday boy's buddies arrived before the couple and went to hide on our patio for a while. I'd kind of assumed they'd all just take a seat at the table when the surprise moment would be when we walked him into the private dining room and he saw all his friends. But I guess they wanted to do the reverse? Wait for him to get seated and then walk in to the private dining room after him. When the couple arrived, I took them to the table and the husband immediately catches on, 'cause No kidding, how could you not? I'm seating you at a table set for 8 people when there's only 2 of you. Well, the wife just goes, "Oh, surprise," in a very disappointed tone, and gives me this look of, "You just screwed this whole thing up." No, madam, I think it was screwed up the very moment your husband said, "I do" to you. I wish him luck. I feel a little bad for ruining the surprise, but not that bad. You shouldn't feel bad at all. If she wanted to do it a specific way, then she should have left more specific instructions, or called in advance and coordinated with us how she wanted everything to go down. I don't know in what world seating 2 people at an 8-top wouldn't automatically give it away that they were going to be joined by more people. People ain't as slick as they think they are, but she obviously thought she was. I guess maybe I shouldn't have put the menus down first, but again, I feel like the table size was kind of a dead giveaway. So, I didn't think it was a big deal. I'm just not sure if she thought we were going to seat them at a 2-top and then move them to an 8-top after their friends came in and surprised him. She didn't ask for that, and it's unreasonable to expect it. Or she thought we would only set 2 spots at a table for 8 and make it look like we put them at an awkwardly large table, and then come back and set the rest of the table once his friends surprised him. I just genuinely don't know what she was hoping for. Personally, I felt like it was the wife's fault for planning things so poorly and not contacting the restaurant with a specific plan. If she wanted things a specific way, she should have given us more to work with. We are servers, not party planners. I think the only moment where I might have messed up was by not taking the menus off the table once I realized his friends were going to hide on the patio instead of taking a seat. Nah. But I'd like to know other people's take on it. Would you have been upset if this happened to you? Did I ruin the surprise by putting the menus down before they got there? Was there a different way you personally would have gone about it? I mean, it doesn't sound like she put much effort into the surprise, really, was it? Just a short little note that she's planning a surprise, not asking you to do anything specific? No, this is entirely on her. Silly, silly people. Third story today is also anonymous. I work at a chain ice cream restaurant as a server, and I have this co-worker who is notoriously a dickwad. He is 19 and acts like he owns the world. You could have just said 19. He's what we call a fountain, or aka server assistant, someone who handles the ice cream, 2 goes, the host stand. On Wednesday, we had a nightmare shift where this one server was just not taking tables during a major rush, and basically put a lot of struggle on me and another server, and basically got cut 30 minutes early in the middle of our rush, and I was naturally ticked off because of that and seeing red that night. On to the situation. Other co-workers were asking me about how bad Wednesday's shift was, and I was telling them like it was. For context, I did not bash the server's character, they'd have to have some, or be mean about her appearance. I simply conveyed her lack of work ethic, and how it set us up for failure. Later, 2 of my co-workers came up to me and informed me that the fountain boy recorded me talking about that other co-worker and sent it to her, 'cause he's a little bitch. I was thrown off, and immediately I felt extremely uncomfortable and upset due to the fact that I was recorded secretly and had it sent to another person. I had a stalker-type situation a few years back, so the idea of someone recording me triggered my anxiety, or feeling like I'm being watched. I immediately went to my GM about this and how uncomfortable I now am, and she basically told me, "We have to deal with drama on our own time." I felt very ignored and dismissed. This isn't drama. In our employee handbooks, we are not actually allowed to record each other. Then you need to go over her head. She's not doing her job. A lot of bitches at your place of work, it seems. Thankfully, I was then cut for the night, but the entire time I was doing my side work and cleaning my section, I was being harassed. Whenever another coworker would talk to me, he would come out of nowhere and basically keep saying, "Well, you know, somebody says I don't do my work, so blah blah." No one could talk to me without him standing directly right there to make sure I wouldn't talk about him. Whenever he was away from the ice cream area, he would make it apparent that he had to go back, and everyone had to go back to work because people say I don't do my job, while again not doing his job, referring to how I was saying that coworker on Wednesday wasn't pulling her weight and doing her job right. My other manager on duty pulled him aside and told him he's crossing boundaries here and is breaking the handbook, but the coworker said he's allowed to do what he wants and he's allowed to record anyone at any time he pleases. yeah, he's now in a fireable position. He's demanding to see the handbook because he believes he's not doing anything wrong. He should have a copy of it, shouldn't he? But whatever. And I am in the wrong for talking like that about another employee. I am honestly disturbed by this behavior, and it was being done in front of my GM, and she's basically refusing to do anything about it. I'm now looking for new employment, because I refuse to be treated like this and essentially harassed. But yes, but go scorched earth before you leave. Anyone else have a coworker like this? Oh honey, we've all got coworkers like that. Apart from me, who's self-employed, but even I'm something of a bitch sometimes. I tell people about this coworker, and I feel insane thinking only we have someone like him. He has had multiple complaints, and nothing has been done. Yeah, the Teflon. There's often someone like that in a workplace. As I say, you need to go above your GM's head if they're refusing to do anything about it. Go to HR. Your company will definitely have an HR section. And see what they say. If it is against the rules, it's against the rules. They can't really argue otherwise. Right, fourth story is Rent by Not Gao. I've been in the industry for about 10 years. I've done every position in a restaurant you can think of. I've been with the same company for a long time. But quit last year. And came back this year around March because I couldn't figure out why I wasn't happy. My previous year, I started bartending and got very anxious, depressed, and angry. I stayed because of the money and decided to try an office job because all I could think about was having the weekends off, time with family and friends, and actually having holidays off. When I got my office jobs, I was met with so much regret the very first day I started. I missed sleeping in, the money because I made significantly more bartending and serving, days off during the week and such. I tried switching positions at a different office, thinking that the first office wasn't for me. I was wrong. I hated office life, culture, and the repetitive days. Also, the people I worked with were garbage, lazy, and rude. I also recognized that having the weekends off, I really wasn't missing out on much. The pro I noticed was having holidays off. A few months later, I up and quit, blocked everybody's number because of how absolutely miserable I was, called my job to come back, but only as a server because I recognized how damaging bartending was for me. Since coming back into the same job, I really haven't had any regrets. I enjoy serving, having my days off again, money, and have a completely different appreciation for things. But I have one struggle that really does take a toll on me, and that I feel that my job or time isn't respected anymore by family. Every person in my family and boyfriend has a typical 9-to-5 job, weekends off, paid holidays, and such. Coming back into this job, I recognized and made it clear that will not again be the norm for me. I've taken off Sundays to spend with family, church, and having one normal day for me to make plans with people around me. With that comes a sacrifice of money, but to me it is worth it. Why I'm upset is because nobody really understands that yes, technically I can take off any day I want, but what they don't understand is that even taking one day off my days off, I lose money. So, planning to have time off is planned at least a month in advance. My parents get angry at me because I just won't take time off, or get mad when I give them my availability. Finally sat down with them and told them how it worked, and how it's just not easy to do, especially on weekends when I make the most money. I ask for them to take days off in advance, and they tell me they can't because they need hours. Save their PTO, which in a way I do get because I've been through it, but frustrates me. I think a lot of people don't view what I do as something legit, even though it supports my life and wants, especially in today's economy. I'm just tired of maneuvering my life around everybody else's schedule, when nobody does for me. I wake up early, even after a late-night work shift, to be around others. Go out after a long shift, even if it's for half an hour, to make an appearance. This has been the hardest battle of my career choice, and often wonder if I need to just deal with it, look past it, and do what's best for me, or if I need to find a different career choice. Also, my boyfriend is supportive of me, even though we have opposing shifts. It's more so family and friends. It sounds like you need to surround yourself with people who do understand. Friends are optional. Family's kind of optional too. I'm not saying you should cut them off or go no contact, but you don't need to be at family events. I'm sure you want to go, but if earning money right now at this point in your life is your priority, that's a good idea. Make the money now. You'll have it for later. Build up a nice safety net. We all need that. You just need to be firm with them. That's the reality of things right now, and they don't have to like it, but they don't actually get a say in it. Doesn't mean you don't like them. Doesn't mean you don't love them, but they don't get a say. And the fifth and final story today is shift leader is a passive-aggressive B. I think that's shift leader. It says SL. By fit ratio 60-81. Started working at a new place after relocating. Really like the people and guests. Shift leader in charge of training me was sweet and thoughtful at first, but at last I found out that she's a passive-aggressive bitch who's also a compulsive liar. Incident 1. She marked a wine glass with a Sharpie as to where we should pour for wines. I like to overpour just a little if a guest orders a second glass just because I feel bad. The price of a bottle is the price of 2.5 glasses, but serves 4. It's not a lot, normally an extra ounce. I thought it was fine because the chefs even offer service, a little something on the house, if you sit at the sushi bar. She came over after a little bit, reminded me what a correct pour was, and was trying to say that I poured the guest 1.5 glasses worth of wine. She said that the guest was sipping it for a while before it got down to that line. Incident 2. On my second day, I was going to work with the other 2 shift leaders, and she tried to prepare me for that, saying things like, "I think you're ready," or "We'll see how well you work with them." Basically, she made it seem like they were hard to work with and very particular. They weren't. They were super easy to work with, and one was particular about certain things, but she always took the time to explain why she liked it that way. Incident 3. I was serving a big walk-in, something like 15 people. We automatically give table water, so after running the waters and soups, the server station was a little dirty. There was a few tiny pools of water from pouring the water from pitchers, nothing serious. She asked me to clean up my mess, and I was like, okay, and cleaned it immediately. A few moments later, I come into the server section to a note posted up about cleaning up after yourselves, and how we're a team, not each other's maids. And later that day I found out from the other shift leaders how she posted in the group chat about the note, basically just repeating it. We were the only 2 people working that morning, so she essentially put me on the spot with that. Incident 4. She's the one that is particular about things. She wrote down on a sticky reminders, things like how many napkins to give guests when they ask for extras, like the smallest things. She'd put me down. Once a table who normally complains and leaves 10% left me 15%, and when I was like, she tipped me more than usual, the shift leader was like, she normally tips more. Or the time when they moved my tip share percentage up, she was like, yeah, they don't normally move up your 10% without testing you. That's never happened before, so I don't think it'll happen again. When I asked the other shift leader, she said they only test you when you're at 90% tip share, and after you pass that test, you'll be 100%. She's just incredibly passive-aggressive for no reason. I don't know what the problem is. The problem is she's her. She has to live with her every day. Imagine how awful that must be for her. I complained to my head manager about how her behavior creates a toxic environment, and unfortunately, because my manager doesn't speak English very well, I wasn't able to communicate this correctly. They just ended up moving me to a different location. Well, every place has somewhere like that, or at some point they'll have someone like that. Nothing you can really do to change her behavior is not going to change. You just have to hope that she'll tick off enough people that they'll finally get rid of her, unless she's got her head so far up the manager's butt she can see daylight. Good luck with it. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Big thanks to everyone who allowed me to use their stories. If you'd like to support the channel and get early access to the videos all at once on Monday, then you can sign up for my Patreon page located down in the description, where you'll also find a link to my merchandise store on Teespring, as well as my Discord and other social media links. Thank you very much. I think I'm going to skip the question and answer today just because I'm kind of running against it right now and I'm not feeling my best at the moment. Just usual problems. So I'm going to be nice to myself. So until next time, thank you very much for watching and take very good care of yourselves. Bye bye.